And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. A very short break. Videos were done so damn quickly, and we are diving into the featured show match of the night. Welcome back to the Club NV X Duckling Showdown number 3. Again, a show match series, a weekly show match series where we bring you as much beautiful Korean StarCraft as we can, and we are diving into our best of 7. And if you are in the chat, predictions are soon to be open. Hold on. Soon to be open here as I do clean this up. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Hecate, we have our Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing himself, currently teamless, looking for a team. It is DRG. The one true Dong himself, and I need a moment to set up the predictions in the chat so you can get your gamba going, papi. Don't worry, it's coming. Bunny versus DRG, Club NV, X Duckling Showdown. Beautiful. You have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to place your bets in the chat. Best of luck. Oh boy. And so far, we've been very lucky. We've been hosting this event, these show matches, for a couple of weeks now, for 2 weeks before this, of course. And so far, every single time without fail, we've gone all the way to the ace match. It's been crazy. In the first edition, we had Creator versus Gumiho, went all the way to game 7. We then had DRG versus Cure, also went all the way to game number 7 as well. What about this week? This week, can we continue the trend? Can we go the distance and go all the way to the ace match once again? Personally, I would love it. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see it back and forth. But I'm greedy like that. We'll see. We'll see if that's what we can embrace here amongst these two players. Again, old friends, old school players from many years in the past. Both Bunny and DRG, they have a legacy behind them. But here, in current era, who comes out on top? For now, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener out of DRG. Likewise, across the map, we have Bunny going for a Rax Expand. Nothing too crazy. There's no 2 Rax Reaper. There's no Fast Gas. There's no 2-1-1. Nothing crazy yet. So far, standard openers. Reaper gets across the map. Going to be dancing with these Lings. Going to be picking away at some of these units. Trying to get into the mineral line, but it's going to be denied. Meanwhile, behind this, Bunny going for a third CC. Third CC before Starport. Very economic build, a very economic opener at a Bunny. So no aggression whatsoever. At least not from the Terran. As we're just being as economic as possible. And oh, my apologies. I assumed it was going to be a third. I mean, it is technically a third CC before Starport, but this is a 3CC 2-1-1 because that is a second Rax. Let's go. A little bit cheeky, a little bit more unorthodox. For those that are curious, this does lead into less Hellions. We're going to have 4. We cut the Hellions at 4. Only 4 Hellions for map control, so the map control early on for Bunny is going to be significantly weaker. It is going to be weaker here for Bunny. But he's going to be building up towards a stim timing with Medivacs. It's going to be stim, going to be 16 Marines with Hellions to support, and of course, Medivacs as well. So we will eventually work towards that Medivac push. Now, because there are only going to be 4 Hellions, and again, we should be cutting at 4, and there's the add-on swap. Yep, only 4 Hellions. Because there are so few, it means that early on, DRG can be greedy. He can drone. He can cut Ling production, and he can drone that much harder because there's less of a threat of a Hellion dive, which is what causes Zerg players to make Lings early on in the first place. So you can cut Lings, you can just drone your heart out. That is if DRG realizes what's going on. He hasn't seen it yet. He sees a handful of Hellions. We can see that he's making more Lings, he's droning. Again, Lings that he doesn't really need at the moment. He doesn't know that. Bunny likewise going to be rotating around, looking for another way in. Overlord Scout is attempted, but is going to be denied here as DRG, he gets an eye on the factory, gets an eye on the Rax, and not much else. Does get a glimpse of the add-on swap though. And based on the factory positioning, I should be able to piece it together. Yeah, double Evo Chamber. Double Evo Chamber on the way to get into double upgrades. A greedy response out of DRG, which it makes sense. You do want to be greedy. Otherwise, a tumor is going to be going down. So essentially what's happening here is that DRG, he's going to be skipping, I say skipping, he's going to be delaying his lair, delaying his Baneling Nest, delaying Baneling Speed in favor of 1-1 upgrades, which is what you want to be doing in this situation. You don't need fast Banelings here, not against a 2-1-1, or not against a 3cc 2-1-1. As the medevacs have arrived, and Bunny is soon going to be moving out. Go. Double drop on the right hand side. Ooh, third base getting up and running. We're trying to be a bit of an annoyance here, but we do get shut down. Ling did confirm the third base timing though. And here comes the drop play. Queens are in position, Lings as well. DRG shouldn't take too much damage here. He should deflect this. And clutch ensues, keeping the Queens alive. And we barely do. The Queens, they do survive. Lings, they don't quite engage yet. They respect the Hellions. Bunny is being forced back. Again, 20 more Lings in production. Now we get our lair on the way alongside the Baneling Nest for eventually Baneling Speed. Again, Banelings were not required to defend against this. So we're able to cut that corner. And force this back. One Queen goes down. Not a bad pickup. Ooh. One Queen goes down, but we do force this back. Yeah, that was a Hellion. That was a couple of Marines falling. Behind this, we're working on our transition, getting our second factory up and running, and we're going into Widow Mines. Okay, it's going to be Bio Mine here at Bunny. Gets another Queen. Nice pickup. Gets an extra Queen, being forced back. Losing a Hellion, but Hellions, at this point, they've been outscaled. We can afford to lose them. But behind this, a DRG has been setting up his bases. He's on 4, soon to be 5 hatcheries. His drone kind of still lacking, but the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they flood into the natural, they flood into the main base as well. We get a surround. That's a kill, not a cancel. A kill on the CC. The mineral lines are under fire. Mine shot going to be going up. Good reaction there. Good split from DRG as he's at every single mineral line. So much damage being dealt. Oh, and we do avoid the friendly fire, thankfully. But the Lings are still not cleaned up. They go for the armory. They get us around. The armory is going to be going down. Oh, the Widow Mines. Widow Mine's going to be exposed. We will eventually clean this up, but here comes the rest of the army as DRG rallies towards the third base, and Bunny is being pulled apart. Ay, ay, ay. Amidst all of that, I lost 10 Marines, 9 SCVs. We did trade out a lot of Lings, that is true, but that was worth it. Remember, we killed a base. You can see there a kill on a CC. So well worth it for DRG. Behind this, he has been happily droning up, saturating on 4 bases, almost at 80 workers, soon to surpass 80 workers. And now he can focus on Ling Bane production. Ling Bane into Hydra. Shows the mines. Oh, decent connection. Decent connection with the Widow Mine. But again, behind this, the Hydra Den is now done. So Ling Bane Hydra is going to be the composition of choice for DRG. The creep is looking strong. Again, Bunny was forced back home because of the aggression earlier. Because of the chaos ensuing. Does have on top of the Queen. Does get one. Queen goes down. Bunny backing off. Still building himself up here. On a Bio Mine. Still recovering from the earlier losses. No 4th CC, by the way. It hasn't been rebuilt. Uh-oh. Not yet, at least. Instead, Bunny just focusing on army production. Focusing on aggression. Here we go. Maybe slipping on forward. Oh! Bailey's rolling in. Again, a decent spread there from Bunny. Does take some Baileys to the face, but he still maintains his Marine counts. The mines! Oh my god, as the friendly fire, the Widow Mine killed the medevac? Not like this. Medevac does go down. Big mine shots. As you can see there, Bunny, he killed 61 Lings and also a full medevac. The friendly fire, Poppy. As we collapse on this. Mine shots not ideal, and we will force this back. Good positioning behind the mineral line. Bunny will evacuate. But again, he doesn't touch the economy, doesn't touch the worker count here of DRG. He's still trying to break through the defenses. The Hydra count getting higher. These Liberators, there is an answer. DRG going for his own counterattack. Yeah, rolling in towards the third base. Does break on in. The Bailings! They get into the mineral line. SCVs are going to go down. Some of them at least. Some workers will fall. Bunny focusing his attention across the map. It's going to be 8 dead workers. And we break through the depot wall. Bunny still hurting, still not in control of this game. We're looking for a big mine connection. But they get baited out. And we will clean this up. Bunny going for a drop into the main, pushing towards the left-hand side. Again, he's still trying to force some damage. He needs a mineral line. Does need a mineral line. Dropping the main base is going to go. He's actually going to be able to unload. We're getting damage done. We're pushing in. We get on top of the spawning pool. Hatchery going to be going down. A couple of drones as well. Spawning pool falls. Bunny. He's getting damage done. He is popping off. Snipes the base. Escapes with most of his army as well. DRG across the map. He gets eyes on the 4th base, but he cannot touch it. Soon to be a planetary. So a couple of good moments here from Bunny. But DRG, he's got eyes on this space, and yeah, he will force a cancel. Does force a lift. Bunny just not able to hold on. Not able to hold on here. Once again, just committed to drop play, just doing whatever he can to force back DRG. Give himself some room to breathe. But there's no way out. There's no medevac here. These Marines are going to be shut down. Center base is ambitious. Oh my god. Good bailing connections. The mines! Likewise, good mine shots here on the Lings. Decent connections. Bunny pushing forward. DRG, he has maxed out. Now, DRG, he has foregone Hive Tech. There is a Hive, that is true, but there's no Adrenal, there's no 1-1. Sorry, there's no 3-3. Upgrades have fallen by the wayside. Instead, he's focusing on taking up into Lurkers. Lurker tech on the horizon. All the Marines are breaking through. They are breaking through. I just realized as well, +2 just started. Oof, the upgrades don't matter. Not for DRG. I was like, all right, he's forgetting 3-3, Papi. Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He collapses here on the Marines. Will focus him down with the Mass Hydra. At the same time, this planetary is not going to get up and running. We do get a surround. And Bunny, he is falling apart. GG gets called, and DRG will take game number 1. GG. A solid game there from DRG. Again, Bunny initially had a bit of momentum. He was going for mass drop play, and he was trading well. But there was a moment amidst the drop play, amidst the initial aggression, where DRG went for a massive link counterattack. Remember, he got into the main, the natural, and the 3rd base. And that was also the moment where he killed the 4th, and he also got on top of the armory. Remember, he killed the armory, which is why 2-2 was so delayed. I guess Bunny did, oh, apologies. Bunny did, forget to rebuild that. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up the next map. Okay, we good. But yeah, the Link Flood had just got so much damage done, and DRG was in control from that moment. The pressure was on Bunny to get some kind of counter damage done, and he was achieving some wins here and there, you know, with his drop play, with his harassment, but just the non-stop aggression from DRG, the non-stop bailing, run-bys as well, made sure that Bunny's economy was never up and running. He was never able to establish a 4th. He was stuck on 3 bases for the entire game, stuck on low upgrades, on a low army as well, and GG. GG, well played. A solid game 1 there out of DRG, but now we're getting into something very different. A map that I haven't casted in a week. It's a very rare map that we get to cast. I was only able to cast it so often in WTL. Remember, in World Team League, there are no vetoes. So you see this map much more often in WTL, but with the conclusion of that season, it's much more rare here on the Cranky Ducklings. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radhaset Station. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless, currently looking for a team. It is DRG. See in the chat, Bunny was betrayed by his own Winterminds. He was, Bobby, he was. Smooch. Feels bad, man, feels bad. That was a rough moment as well. There was a bit of friendly fire, as sometimes is the case in this matchup. Does happen. Ooh, Bunny going for a CC first. Let's go. CC first here out of Bunny. You do love to see it. Again, this is something very unique to this map. I should talk about it a little bit just because we see it so infrequently. So, Radhaset Station is very unique, by the way. It's a very unique map just because of how defendable it is. It has the longest rush distance by ground. The rush distance by ground is insanely long, so it takes so long for aggression to get across the map. Likewise, ramp leading into the natural, so you have the defender's advantage. You also have a pocket base, so a free third and almost a free fourth, because this fourth base is also very defendable with these choke points. So, as a result, typically you cut as many corners as possible. That's why Bunny goes for a CC first, because you can get away with it on this map. Likewise, we have seen a lot of Zerg players go gasless. That is not the case here for DRG, but we do see it quite often on Radhaset Station, where you just open up gasless, go for a fast third base, get straight into roach production, or even just delay your tech even further, just to drone up even more. Like, the greed that we've seen here on this map is insane, which is why it's often vetoed. Like, this is a very unique map and does lead to very unique play, which leads to really fun games, to be honest. Like, I often have a lot of fun casting games on Radhaset Station, but it leads to just a very different style of StarCraft. A very different kind of StarCraft that most players are not fond of, which is why it's vetoed so often. But it's not vetoed here. And our players did have vetoes, by the way. It's a best of 7. Each player had 1 veto, and let me just double check. I believe the vetoes were hard lead. Yeah, the vetoes were hard lead as well as equilibrium. Equilibrium and hard lead, which makes sense. Equilibrium is considered to be like the Zerg map. It's like the Zerg map in the map pool. So Bunny got rid of equilibrium. We did see that DRG got rid of hard lead as well, just to get rid of any kind of aggressive potential that Bunny would have. Had our vetoes, equilibrium was prioritized, which means we get Radhaset Station. We get it, Bob. We get it. Let's go. Behind the CC first, we're getting into our 1-1-1. Third CC on location as well. So greedy, Bobby. But again, you can do this, and it's not even the pocket base. It's just the triangular third here, and yeah, we can get away with it on location. Bunny just being as greedy as possible, getting to his 1-1-1, going Viking first. Interesting. Viking first with Stim on the way. Back at home, DRG likewise is just droning. He made 2 lings in total, only 2 lings, and we are just droning up as much as we can. Again, whenever we play on Radhaset Station, it is a game of greed. How many corners can you cut without dying? That's the game that we're playing right now. Just how greedy can we, like, how much can we get away with without things quickly going south for us? Bunny is going to be pulling back. Again, just being active with a handful of Hellions. Back at home, 1-1-1. Stim on the way. Overlord coming in for a scout, but we have the Viking en route, and it looks like, oh, do we get in? We do not. We do not get in, and DRG is in the dark. He sees the Viking. For all he knows, it could be BC. It could be mech. It could be anything. DRG is in the dark. Behind this, Bailing Nest, Lair is on the way. Very safe follow-up, actually. I'm not too sure if I like this. I mean, it's understandable. So DRG, because he didn't see anything, like he hasn't even seen the third, he doesn't know how greedy Bunny has been. So DRG is playing safe. Fast lair. We have spore crawlers on the way, fast bailiness as well. Instead of faster 1-1 upgrades, again, we're prioritizing bailing speed. Bailing speed that we honestly don't need right now. It's a very safe play from DRG just because he doesn't know what's going on. Link's going to be patrolling. Overlord's going to be shut down. We've already gotten two. Two Overlords do fall. Liberated to the main base. There is a spore in position and we're going into mutas. Let's go. Mutas can work on Radisson Station just because it's so large you can get away with rushing into a muta tech. That is true. But it can still be difficult to gain value with them. So we'll see. We'll see if DRG can make use of said mutas. He's also investing into +1 range. Wait, what? Wait, what? We do have range on the way here for DRG. Likewise, Helion's pushing on the right-hand side and getting on top of the base. Getting eyes on the would-be fourth. But this feels almost like DRG thinks he's playing against mech, to be honest. Prioritizing like range and melee. Carapace is typically required here against buyers, so I think this is a misread from DRG. Again, because we have nothing but bio on the way, and DRG doesn't know, not yet. Again, Carapace upgrades are crucial against Marines, and it is just not available here. As DRG is just going to be focusing on his upgrades, working on +1 air attack. Spire is done, we can start working on mutas, and there it is. 7 mutas are on the way. They are in production. And I'm concerned for DRG. I'm very concerned for him. Marines are moving out. Jobs as well. DRG does have a ground army, thankfully. He can just rotate between the bases. So Naga will fall under control of Bunny, and here comes the double drop into them, into the pocket base. Straight into the pocket. DRG in position with mutas. There we go. Link Bane does roll in as well. Yeah, we should be okay. We should be able to keep up and even shut down the drops. Means good target firing, but I believe the mutas have not been seen, and not until now. The mutas are revealed. And we dive on those Metamax. We dive on the Widow Mines, actually. Oh, we get one, we get two. The mine shot. Decent connection. Decent connection with the Widow Mine. At the same time, drone's going to be going down to the main base to the lib. DRG is on the hunt. Trying to chase down those Metavacs, but they did escape. They did fan out. Now from here, yep, there we go. Now we have Carapace. So again, it did look like the range upgrade was because DRG was getting ready for something a little bit different. Now they realized it's Spire. Now we have Carapace upgrades. Which again is late, and that can be crucial. As Bunny's committing to his push, knocking down these rocks. Double drop here towards the right hand side. So far, Bunny has been left untouched back at home. These mutas, though, they're getting damage done. How many mutas do we have? 15. 15 mutas. DRG out of position. He's not where he needs to be in this space. It's gonna go down. He was distracted by the push. We do deny mining. Big mine shots. Big mine shot's gonna be going off, but we do save the base. We get here just in time. Bunny will back off. Oh, the Metamax! No! We stuck around too long, and both of them will be shut down. Nice clean up there from DRG. Does shut down those Metamax. Catches the Viking, pushing towards the pocket base. The base of it is not up and running, not yet. Turrets are still on the way. And they will be shut down. Oof. You only get one muta in the process. Bunny, though, still keeping the pressure on. Still being very active with his army. Still being active here. Going for a Doom drop on the right-hand side. Again, really committed drop play. Now, what's important is that Bunny's economy has been untouched. Sure, we just did kill 2 SCVs, but only 2 workers. Like, Bunny happily mining on 4 bases, on 74 workers. Can work towards either the gold or this northern base instead. Speaking of, it is on the way. And Bunny is pushing. You're still turning back around. We do try to collapse on this. Big mine shots. Good mine connections here on the Ling Bane, but we crash on in anyway. We clean up the army. Mutas are on the chase and we shut down the medevacs. At the same time, Bunny going for another right-hand side push. And this time we should get the base. Okay, this time the base will fall. Good pick up there by Bunny. Good stutter stepping as well. Cleans up a lot of these Lings. But DRG still has enough to just collapse on this. He rolls on in, breaks through the Marines, cleans up every single drop here. The medevacs will not escape. And sure, Bunny, he may have killed the base, but was that really worth it? He's losing so much. These trades not going in favor of Bunny whatsoever. Do have 3-3 on the way. We're getting into Thor production. This CC soon to be up and running. But DRG has map control. Oh my god. To have map control here as DRG going to be pulling back. Does race back home, reinforcing with more Lings, more Banelings. I love that we're making use of the range upgrade now because, hey, we're getting into Mutas. Sorry, getting into Hydras. We're done with Mutas. Into Ling Bane Hydra Lurker. We do collapse on this. Gordo survive big mine shots. Good connections here on these Lings. Good connections overall. Bunny taking a good trade. DRG is going to have to pull back. And again, ideally, he wants to get into Lurker production. And there it is. Lurkers. We have 5 Lurkers on the way. DRG just one step ahead when it comes to tech. Like, we're still fixated on Biothor Mine. Like, this is an ideal army against Mutas. That's true. Not ideal against Lurkers. Against Lurkers, what do we need? Tanks, Liberators, Ghosts. Speaking of, that's a Fusion Core. That's 2 more starports. That is a Liberator transition on the way for Bunny. It's on the way, but it just now started. And here comes, oh, the Nidus. The Nidus into the pocket base. That's where the Lurkers are. Nidus is finished. Lurker's going to be filing on out. Ooh, big spine shot. Oh my god, the spine shots. They're brutal. They shut down the army. 1 mine shot goes off at the same time. We're going to be collapsing on the main Bioforce as well. Decent trade out of DRG, and he takes control of the pocket base. 16 SCVs go down. The Mutas, they go ham in the main, camping the production. Nidus Worm does finish. We can evacuate. We can reinforce. And Bunny, he's not a world of hurt. He's racing back home with what little he has. With Marine, Marauder, Thor. Does get into the Mutas, but I don't think we care. I don't think we care anymore. Not about the Mutas. As DRG, he's rolling on in, getting into the mineral line. Ooh, doesn't quite make it, though. Doesn't get there. DRG pulling back. Getting into more Lurkers. And Nidus going to be keeping Bunny's attention back at home. Lurkers, we actually go further in. Oof. Bold move here from DRG. Pushing further into the pocket base. He's just focusing on his main push. Lurkers moving forward. Again, this army not looking too ideal against this. How do we dive into Lurkers? We can't! Big spine shots. The spine shots are brutal here. Yeah, we annihilate the army. We bring down the base. Now we can focus on top left. Lurker is still alive on the right-hand side. Being such a nuisance. Will eventually fall. Meanwhile, the Lurker army just leapfrogging forward here, taking down more of these turrets. Taking down more turrets. Forcing back more of these mines. Now we're getting to Lib Ghost production. As we mentioned before, like, this is what we need against Lurkers. but it was a late transition and the damage has been done. Bunny, he lost his he lost his 5th, and he lost his 4th. Now behind this, we should be working towards Vipers. We don't have any Vipers yet. Without them, it can be a little bit more difficult to trade against this. Liberators are pushing forward. Big snipes. DRG coming from behind. Oh, doesn't commit. Does pull back. Does pull back in the end. Alright, it's going to be on the way once again in the natural. Here we go, DRG just trying to pull apart his opponent. The army a bit out of position. Mine's going to be going down. Ooh. The Thor does stand strong, but we deny the base. And we get a kill. We get a kill in the CC. That's all that matters. The pocket base back up and running. We're back on 4 bases. Non-stop Nidus Worms here. Behind all of this, like, DRG has just been happily mining, taking more bases. He's getting the gold. There it is, Vipers finally on the way. Now the reason why Vipers are crucial here is because pushing into liberation zones is a difficult thing for a ground-based army to accomplish. Vipers, they can yoink. They can abduct these liberators and drag them into range of the Hydras. That's the goal here. Whether it's abducting some of these liberators, even abducting ghosts if we see fit. Oh, the Hydras! They're going to be shut down. A big overextension by DRG. And a good trade for Bunny. Good trade overall. DRG not quite paying attention, did allow the army to just walk into freedom zones. He's going to be remaxing on more Hydras, taking more bases, engulfing the map. But Bunny has remaxed. Again, because of how large this map is, he has time. He was given the time he needed to remax once again, but his economy is lacking. You can see that he's oversaturated. He's running out of mineral patches. He has 1 full base here, and that is it. We're running out everywhere else. He needs a CC. If he doesn't, he will lose the battle of attrition. He will be stomped out. So the pressure is on Bunny to expand. The win condition for DRG is not to kill. He doesn't have to push into this. He doesn't have to push into the 3rd or the natural. Doesn't have to commit into the pocket. All he has to do is deny the 5th. Deny the 5th is the win condition for DRG. Deny this base. It is slowly getting back up and running. It is now being landed. DRG does have eyes on this. He does see. And he responds. He is rotating over. Double drop on the right hand side. We're going for some of these fringe bases. Bunny breaking free, getting damage done. Yeah, this hatchery looks like it will go down. Things they try to engage the liberation zones. This defensive position is looking terrifying. Oh, here come the yoinks. We get 1, we get 2. 2 full medevacs go down. We have a 3rd medevac here on the right hand side, distracting DRG. At the same time, we dive on top of these lurkers. DRG is distracted. Oh, that's gonna be 4, 5 lurkers going down. Big pickoffs. That was 6 lurkers. Again, DRG just his attention being pulled apart by the drop play. Bunny doing well for himself, getting another base. And now DRG, the problem here is that now that he's dealt with the drops, we can focus on the push. We can focus on the main fight. And we're getting into double Spire. Greater Spire, 2nd Spire on the way for upgrades. Brood Lords are on the way. And that's what we have to transition. So Ghost Lib does force the Zerg player out of Lurkers and into Brood Lords. You may think, well, isn't Ghost good against everything? Yeah, it is. But Liberators, not so much. Liberators are great against Lurkers, less so against those Broods. That's why we have to take to the skies. That's why Lurkers are not really the ideal as they once were. We can still engage with our abductions with those joints that we spoke about, but again, still quite difficult to deal with. DRG just refining his army. Wants to try to catch Bunny spread to a little bit too thin. Show us the yoinks. There it is. We do abduct those libs. 3 of them going to be going down. Oh, big mine shots. But we get the 4th Liberator as well, forcing back the army. Can we connect with the ghosts? We try to. But good kiting overall. Up! And the Ghost, they will survive. It's a good control here out of Bunny. That was an overextension from DRG. Did keep his Vipers alive, though. And behind this, Infestors, soon to be Corruptors, +3 attack on the way for those Corruptors as well. Scan getting eyes on the economy. Of course, DRG has a massive bank. He's got 8,000 minerals and 2,000 gas. Now, the Terran army does trade efficiently, so the Zerg player needs a bank. Definitely, they do need a bank, and I don't think this bank is large enough either for DRG, specifically his gas. His gas is lacking quite a bit. So Bunny on the worst position. The minerals, that's a different story. We can remax on lings for days. Can make a lot of lings, Bobby. Here we go, once again collapsing on this planetary. There is no lift. The planetary is going to go down. Not too many SCVs. Yoink's coming in as well. We are running out of Hydras though. As the Bailey say, once again, go for those ghosts. The ghosts, they will survive. Once again, good trade here from Bunny when it comes to preserving his ghosts, but he did lose the base. That's what's important. Another CC went down. 13 SCVs as well. Once again, DRG burning through his bank. He doesn't have his gases here in his pocket base. Doesn't have the gases here towards the south. No gas mining here either. We're seeing why our gas bank is a little bit lackluster. So we're taking gases, but again, we're not even mining from some of our... There we go. We do pull back in. So DRG, he recognizes that, like, hold up, I can't max. Like, hold up, I can't make an army. So DRG, he needs a little bit of time for these gases to kick in. As he is still committed here to Hydras. I'm concerned. We should be seeing a transition to Corruptors soon. Okay, there are just so many liberation zones. That's 14 libs. We can't yoink 14. That's not happening. We can't yoink them all. Working our way through. Nuke here towards the gold. And do we notice? We do. Okay. We do notice in time. We pull away and we get a kill on the ghost. DRG, calm down, Pat. Calm down. Even taking Bunny's gold. Speaking of Bunny, getting another base up and running. Gets his 6th. SJG's rolling on in. Liberation zones were not quite in position. And we get a mass amount of yoinks here on those libs. Bailing's rolling on in. Once again, going straight for those ghosts. This time we connect. Big connections. Big connections on the Bio Army. EMPs are looking okay, but it looks like DRG, he may just have too much. He is being forced back. But DRG, he can remax. Bunny cannot. Big snipes though. Oh my god. There goes. They force back the army. DRG's got 52 lings in production. And it looks like DRG will be extending his lead. We'll keep this going. As again, Bunny, he's slowly getting these bases up and running, but he's down to 47 workers. Doesn't have a lot of mules available. And DRG, he's just been able to trade well enough to make sure that Bunny isn't able to max out. Not again. He's been just stuck on the receiving end for a little bit too long. Mine shot's going to be going up. Liberation zones have arrived, but we have a massive amount of Hydras. We have plenty of Hydras to deal with this. As we do start to step forward, getting on top of some of these libs. It's a brutal trade, but yeah, the libs are falling one after the other. GG gets called, and DRG will take a 2-0 lead in this series. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Get a solid start here for DRG. A solid start for DRG, able to be in control of both Game 1 and Game 2. Now, to be fair, Radisson Station, is a lot more... is a little bit different. Hold on. Just messaging some people here. Oh. Okay. Okay, looks like we are good. But sorry, we're just setting some stuff up. Just sorting some stuff out as we are getting ready here for our next matchup. For game number 3, gonna be on Alcyone. Well, looks like our players they just need a moment. I don't blame them. I don't blame them whatsoever. That we need a moment to kind of gather our thoughts here and to get things ready. But again, so far so good. And yeah, again, when it came to Radisson Station, a very unique map, and because of just how just how large it is, we got to see that DRG took map control and was never did really let go of it. Bunny was trying to go for mass job play, but once we got into lurkers, once the lurkers hit the field, then things were swinging further and further in favor of DRG. Was able to successfully take up to lurkers before Bunny could recognize what was happening. And as a result, DRG was able to take control of that game and never let go of it. GG. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 3. Remember, this is a best of 7. Best of 7, plenty of games ahead of us, plenty of games to come. When it comes to the map order, it's on Wikipedia. Game 3 is going to be on Alcyone, followed by Golden Aura, Side Delta, Solaris, and Oceanborn to end the night. A lot of matches. We go. We're getting into game number 3. Looks like our players are ready. Again, Bunny just needed a moment, but he has recovered. We're good. We are good to go. So we are loading on in. We go, and spawning in the top right hand corner. In the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have the blue Korean player representing Mystery Gaming. The blue Terran, that's what I meant to say. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing himself, currently teamless, looking for a team, deserving to be on a team. It is DRG. Here we go. And Alcyone has a very similar kind of overall idea to Radisson Station, where it's a very large map. It's a very large map, not as large as Radisson, to be fair, but despite that, Alcyone has a lot of bases to be taken, is very much so known for its split map play and its split map scenario. Yeah, it can be terrifying. We can end up in another long macro game here. There are goal bases that you can try to rush into, but in this matchup, it's typically a death sentence. It's very difficult to hold onto this as a third base. The fourth, taking this as a fourth is a lot more viable for either player, but any earlier than that, and you can run into some pretty rough issues there. So you do ease into things. Again, we're also very defendable on 4 bases. We have a ramp leading into the 3rd. We have a ramp leading into this upper echelon as well. And if we expand on the right-hand side, again, also very defendable on the other side of the map. Which also leads into why we see so much late game here on Alcyone. It's very difficult to end the game earlier on, whether it's with Ling Bane aggression or with Roach timings. We've seen players try and fail to end the game early. So we'll see. We'll see how we ease into this, as for the time being, Bunny going for a Rax Expand, going for a standard opener. Remember, game number 2, it was a CC first, but that was very akin to Raditz Station. Again, you can be that much more greedier on a map like that. Here, you can get away with it at times. We've seen players like Bjorn and Spirit go CC first, but Bunny is not one to really go that far, to test the waters there. Reaper gets across the map. So do slip in. So do slip into the main base. And again, we're just going to be dancing with these Lings, dancing with these drones. Looking for a Ling kill if possible. Behind this 3rd CC before starport. Very economic opener here at a Bunny. Which is what we expect. No! Oh my god. We're on 3 HP. Reaper did overextend for a member, but did barely escape, thankfully. DRG getting his 3rd base up, and the game will settle from here. Again, we don't really expect too much aggression from either player on this map, but we'll keep an eye out for it. Behind this, for the first time this series, we have a 3rd CC into Starport. Remember, game 1, it was 3 CC 2-1-1. This time, it is going to be a more standard opener, more meta opener from Bunny. Interestingly enough, we don't have an add-on swap. It's going to be Marine first, which means this should be a Viking opener. I imagine, as the Rax did just complete. Behind this, Hellions are moving out, and no, we're not going for a Viking opener, we're going straight into Liberator. Bold move here. So usually when you go for a Lib opener, you still make a Viking first to deny scouting, to keep the Zerg player guessing, to keep them in the dark. Instead, we prioritized a Marine just to make sure that this Overlord is zoned away. So just an alternate way to get into Liberator Harass. It's going to be Mass Hellion Lib. The way this works is that Hellions are ideally going to be distracting the Queens, and they do keep their attention on top of the creep. Meanwhile, the Liberator comes in from behind and does get into a mineral line. Or vice versa, where the Liberator could maybe distract the Queens, and then the Hellions can likewise roast up some drones. We'll see how we're able to piece this all together, and how much damage we can achieve. Behind this, Stim is on the way, 3rd base soon to be taken as well. Again, Bunny, for the time being, still has map control. And he has to be very careful not to lose it, not to throw away these Hellions. As he is pushing forward. He's going to be rotating around. Liberator slipping into the main. Hellions likewise, they go for the dive. They run past the Queens. We do have some Lings, but is it going to be enough as we roast through them? Yeah, we burn our way through the Lings and we're going straight for the drones instead. Is it going to be worth it though? Oh, we barely make it in. The Hellions getting so very low. 5 drones go down and we roast them up in the main base. They're bunched up. No, the drones. The workers, they line up. 8 workers so far go down. We need another volley and we do not get them. So many of these drones are so low. They're deep in the red, but they survive. This could have been so much worse. Could have been so much worse. As we're kind of following each other. We'll get back to mining soon, I'm sure. There we go. But 8 workers go down for how many Hellions? That was 8 workers for 8 Hellions trading 1 for 1. Oh, not ideal. And without those Hellions, we lose map control. And SCVs are going down. DRG punishing the dive. We bust into the natural. There are too many Marines. We can't quite engage. But we deny mining here at the 3rd. 3 dead SCVs and the mule as well. So again, Bunny punished for that dive, and again, it wasn't quite worth it. It was an okay trade, but ideally you want more damage. Ideally you want a mineral line. If you're throwing away that much, if you're throwing away 8 Hellions. As a result, DRG is going to be able to get his 4th base. The other downside here with the death of all those Hellions, there's nothing to stop the creep. There's nothing to keep the creep at bay. DRG now has map control. Going to be spreading creep to his heart's content. Taking a 4th, Droning on up, getting into 1-1. Baneling speed on the way. Baneling speed being prioritized. Bunny is moving out with a double drop. He's got some work to do. Does have quite a bit of work to do here. As we stim on forward, focus on some of those tumors. We're going to be focusing down some of those rocks. Rotating over towards the south. Okay, we have plenty of Ling Bane here in position. DRG is able to keep up. Up. Baiting out of mine shots. Thought Transfuse. Oh, the queen will go down though. Transfuse a little bit too late there. So just dancing with the army. Do you have another secondary drop here towards the left hand side? So Bunny going for a split push. Hydra Den is on the way. DRG rushing into Ling Bane Hydra as his composition. Does take control of the Zolnaga. Double drop making its way into the natural. DRG not quite in position. Drones may go down. Oh, the medevac taking a lot of damage. The medevac goes down. Marines were inside. Mine shots, they get dragged away as well. Good cleanup here from DRG. Very nice cleanup. Again, only losing one queen. Behind this, Hydras are on the way, so we can shut down the drops that much easier. Creep still soon to spread as well. We still have active tumors. And baiting out the Widow Mine. Oh my god. As Bunny is going to be reinforcing. He needs to before he does lose control of this drop. Do clear up a lot of that creep. And here comes a reinforcing army. Bunny still keeping the pressure on. But you can see that DRG, he's gone away with droning. He's on 90 workers. 90 workers here for DRG. Now he can focus on nothing but Ling Bane. He can invest into Hive Tech. There it is. Infestation Mit's on the way. Lurker Den as well. Bunny needs to get some economic damage done. He has to slow DRG down. Now he's doing a good job when it comes to clearing up creep. Like, a lot of tumors are being cleaned up. Drop comes back in. We get another queen. Focusing on forcing back these medevacs. Queen goes down. A nice pickup from Bunny. He's getting his own fourth up as well. Again, because of all this pressure, DRG hasn't been able to go for a run by. He's been stuck at home, so Bunny takes full advantage of that, and he himself has a decent economy. Almost 80 workers here, plus mules. Goal base on the way, on location as well. Bunny. A little bit greedy. We'll see if we can get away with it. Widow Mines are being set up. Mine shot's going to be going off. Bunny going to keep on pushing. Takes down some of these tumors. Tumor's going to be going down. Bunny rotating around as well. Again, I'm surprised that DRG hasn't tried to collapse on this yet. He's been very passive with how he's been engaging. He's been very careful, respecting Bunny quite a lot. And as a result, Bunny is maxing out. He closes the gap in supply. Double drop throwing the main. Main push rotating over towards the fourth. DRG, can he keep up with the movement here? So we do push in. Bailey's getting wasted on the Marauders. And Bunny's gaining ground, forcing back the army, pushing into the bases. A bit of friendly fire. But again, DRG not in position. Has to rotate back around. He does collapse on this. That's a lot of Bailings. A lot of Bailings do arrive. Good splits here from Bunny. Yeah, he avoids most of the Bailings. He pushes on forward. And Bunny, it looks like he has broken through. And a beautiful split there towards the end. But can we keep pushing? Decent mines. Bunny barely forced back. DRG does hold, but he lost 12 drones in the process. 12 workers went down. Lurkers, though, they're on the way, and this is what DRG's been missing. But as he's getting into lurker production, here come the libs. Liberators are on the way. Liberator range as well, +3. Bunny not missing a beat. Do we have a Ghost Academy? We do not. No Ghost Academy, though, which is concerning. So it's going to be Biomine into Lib. No Ghost yet. We shut down a base. DRG is just being pulled apart at this point. Having such a hard time keeping up here. Another hatchery goes down. The hatchery does fall. Now, DRG, upon losing all these bases and the economy as well, he does have lurkers. He can take a fight. But the gold is going up and running uncontested. We haven't scouted, not yet. There we go. DRG, he sees the gold base. He's now aware, but can he do anything about it? Can he touch the gold? The Banelings is still not done. This is going to be a rough trade here. The lurkers are going down. Oh my god. Decent spine shots. Decent shots on the army. DRG wants to threaten that mineral line, if at all possible. There it is. SCV's under fire. Lurkers pushing forward. Bunny has Remax, so pushing in with freedom. And there may just be too much freedom here. The concave is too good. These lurkers, it just wasn't worth it. Wasn't enough. And DRG, he plummets in supply. He still doesn't have his bases up and running. He's still resaturating his mineral lines. And Bunny, he takes an insane fight. And we are looking to put a point on the board. It would not be a 4-0. It would not be one-sided. And Bunny pushing forward. The freedom has arrived. As we're bullying DRG further and further back. Ghosts are now on the way. DRG just now getting into Vipers. Trying to at least. Hive is done. But again, it's the economy. The economy has been struggling for DRG. He has no bank. I do think that Bunny has a bit of onus to keep on going though. Like, we gotta we gotta push, Pap. We gotta push. Can't let him back in. Lurker gonna be harassing across the map. Getting some damage done here. Likewise, we have Liberators over towards the right-hand side. Bunny, he does ease up here on the aggression, and DRG, he has time to recover. He is remaxing, he's resaturating, base is getting back up and running. The creep is lacking, we're barely connecting the bases here. But DRG, he's mustering himself up, and now he's full of energy with those Vipers. He is full of energy. So DRG can still take a fight. Bunny has a bank, true. But DRG can still swing things back in his favor. Double drop gets loaded up. Bunny rotating over towards the right hand side. It does confirm the lack of gold. His own gold still very much so mining. Here we go, Bunny. He likes what he sees. He sees a vulnerable lurker army. Yeah, he's going for it. At the same time, double drop into the main. Oh, the freedom. The Venn diagrams are thrown down. We force back the army even further. We can keep on pushing. The Liberation Zone slowly working forward. Now, we may have taken a little bit too long here because DRG, he's now arriving with his Vipers. He can yoink, he can abduct. And we collapse on this. Big abductions here on the Liberators. And every single Lib does get abducted. Banelings, they connect. Decent connections here with the Banelings, but the spread is just too good. Liberation Zones, they have arrived. Reinforcements, they come here just in time. And we can shut down all these Hydras and the Lurkers. On top of this, DRG lost 12 drones back at home, and every single Lurker goes down. Again, Bunny, he was able to maintain his lead, able to maintain this fight as well. The 12 workers going down earlier. And GG gets called as a DRG, he has run out of steam, and Bunny fights back, putting a point on the board. GG, well played. Let's go. I'm just happy. I'm just happy that it is not going to be a 4-0. It's not going to be one-sided. And again, Bunny able to pull his opponent apart. And we have the beginning of potentially a comeback. Go. So I'm just setting up the lobby, getting all the players invited, and we are getting into game number 4. Winding it back to what happened between Bunny and DRG. Initially, DRG was holding his own, but we mentioned it at the time, and clearly we know why. I was going to say that DRG was being very passive overall. He wasn't being very proactive when it came to diving on top of the initial drop play, the initial medevac drops, and even counterattacking across the map. And a big reason for that was because DRG was taking up into Hydras and taking up into Lurkers behind it as well. He was focusing on taking, less so on really gaining control of the map itself, and again, he was just having a really hard time keeping up with Bunny. Eventually, he did get into Lurkers, and that did help a little bit, but again, it wasn't really worth it in the end because he, had 5 Lurkers at the time and was having a really hard time keeping up with the mass drop play. It was being pulled apart, bases were falling, drones as well. And Bunny just had his way with him. GG. And with that, we're now getting into game number 4 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Mystery Gaming. Fighting back, putting a point on the board. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing himself, currently teamless, deserving to be on the team. The Blue Zerg, it is DRG. Let's go. And Bunny going to be spicing it up, going for a 2-axe Reaper. Let's go. Getting a very popular opener here, especially on Golden Aura in this matchup. It's going to be 2-axe Reaper. Byun is quite fond of going 3-axe Reaper with a proxy Rax here on the left-hand side. But I don't think Bunny is one to really embrace that more chaotic Byun style. It should just be 2-axe Reaper into containing the Zerg player on 2 bases. So more of an aggressive start here out of Bunny. Meanwhile, DRG going for an interesting opener as well. Is he going gasless? That is a hatch pool hatch. Yep, he is going gasless. Let's go. So for those that are unaware, this is an opener that you can get away with on Golden Aura. It's gasless here. No gases whatsoever. Very greedy build from DRG. Other Zerg players have been embracing this ever since the new patch. Players like Dark, players like Raynor. The reason why is because this 3-base setup is actually very close together. It's very compact. What I mean by that, you can defend these 3 bases quite easily with queens, without speedlings, without lings in general, because it doesn't take too long at all to rotate between this ramp and this entry point. These 2 locations are very close together, so make yourself like 4 or 5 queens you can defend and deflect Hellion run-bys once we get into the mid-game, once we get into our openers. But as much as this is amazing against a 1-1-1 or a 3cc 1-1-1, this is a 2-axe Reaper. So the goal here for Bunny is to try to punish this. And again, because we are playing gasless, that means very late link speed. That means these Reapers are under no threat. There's no way for DRG to really collapse on these Reapers without speed. We're already getting a lot of damage done. Now, to be fair, this base is going to finish. Creep is going to be spread, and Queens can deflect this. We're going to have to rely on Queens. Meanwhile, we have 3 Reapers, 4th and 5th Reaper on the way. Bunny, he wants to get damage done. He wants to either kill Queens or deny the base. Otherwise, you wouldn't commit into a 4th and 5th Reaper. So here we go. Reapers once again being forced back. Oh, taking a lot of damage. We do take a lot of damage. More Reapers are arriving, though. As we force back the Queens, they're taking a lot of damage. Oh, but once again, we overextend. 1 Reaper goes down, and this should not be happening. 1 Reaper does get picked off. Suddenly, that much less DPS available in this army. We're holding on to that 3rd base. And again, Bunny, the fact that he committed into additional Reapers here, like, he needs to make it worth it. It needs to make it worth his while. So far, it hasn't been worth it. So far, DRG has deflected this, hasn't sustained any economic damage. Kind of did, though. In a sense, he was forced to make lings. Ideally, DRG wanted to skip all these lings, so was forced to make them just to be safe. But overall, I want to give the edge to DRG. He gets away with his 3rd base. He's droning happily. He gets away with, delaying link speed for so long. Link speed is on the way. I'm sure DRG wanted to just skip it entirely, but is forced into it eventually. It's very late, don't get me wrong, but on the way. Ooh, and now the dust is going to be settling. And DRG gets away with a good economy. Bunny back at home, getting into a 3rd CC, getting into Cyclones. Now, This is a follow-up that is quite common, quite prevalent among some of the Korean Terran players, specifically Kira and Maru. Kira, Maru, I think Clem as well. Yeah, Clem does do this as well, where you make 2 cyclones, only 2 cyclones, then you go into Hellion production. The goal, the reason for this, is that with those cyclones, with those Hellions, you can shut down Overlords. Yeah, these Overlords are going to be chased down, not just this one, but this one here in the center of the map. We want to chase them down, and of course, threaten Creep and threaten Queens. It is a variation that we have seen rise in popularity in the new patch as well, is to make a handful of cyclones for this purpose. Now, typically we make 2 cyclones, but we can see that this is a bit of a Frankenstein build. it's a little bit all over the place. We made 1 cyclone and 1 Hellion, so very light commitment here, which makes sense because we invested so much into these Reapers. We have to cut corners. So this is less than ideal for Bunny, but he's just trying to do the bare minimum here to gain value. So 1 cyclone, 1 Hellion. Ling's speed is done, by the way. It finally finishes up and we wrap around. We catch the army. We get us around here on the Reapers and soon to be the Cyclone as well. Big pick off. Bunny, he's going to get shut down, and this has just been a disastrous start for Bunny. The Reapers weren't worth it. This follow-up wasn't worth it. We take control of the 3rd CC. Vikings doing what it can, but we are stuck on 2 bases. Again, this production is even exposed as well. Like, it's very chaotic. Very chaotic here. We think about a 4th CC. We thought about it for a moment. As we're getting into a 5-rack setup, 5-1-1. Which is what we want to see on 3 bases, but Bunny has no map control and his 3rd is so delayed. He is so delayed. Behind this, we are being greedy as well. We prioritize 1-1, so DRG focuses on 1-1 upgrades. He delays his lair, delays his bathing nest, delays his bathing speed, which he can get away with. So really greedy stuff here out of DRG. He, again, will be able to get away with all this into faster upgrades. Meanwhile, double expanding. 4th, 5th base on the way. We're droning up to 70, soon to be droning up to 80 as 8 more workers are on the way. DRG, he's in full control here. He's in full control, and it does go to show how, like, important openers are. Like, openers, they do kind of set a pace, and especially early on, any kind of worker advantage you have or disadvantage that you have does impact you quite a lot. Which is why DRG is so far ahead here. Meanwhile, Bunny getting into his drop play. There is potential. Oh, he does slip in. He avoids the Lings. We dive on top of the base, and can we force a cancel? It's going to be close. Good target firing. The base is going to be safe. Big mine shot goes off at the same time. Big Ling counter attack. We save the base, and we get 13 SCVs across the map. We get on top of the factory, force a cancel. And we can go for the army. We won't quite be able to bust in. But DRG, he maintains his lead. He gets us around as well. Catches these Marines. Remember, 1-1 is done. Catch the Bio Army as well. We have another double drop towards the left-hand side. Bunny has potential, but he's just losing too much back at home. Far too much here. Deeper is going to be falling. These things will eventually be cleaned up. And again, Bunny, he needs to deal some damage to the economy. Decent mine shot. Decent mine shot here. Get some banelings. As DRG is up to 89, soon to be 93. Oh my god. 93 drones. We have sack defense on the way, spore crawlers. We can afford it. 2-2 on the prize, and honestly, DRG can throw down infestation, and there it is. The pit has been thrown down for Hive Tech. Hydras are amassing. Now, what I will say, even though Bunny is hurting, like he is very much so hurting the economy. He barely has an economy to work with. But what he does have is an army. His army supply is comparable to that of DRG's. It's 82 army supply against the 86 of DRG, or 88 of DRG. So we can trade, we can fight. Good mine shot. Good mine shot goes off. We do trade well against the Lings. DRG overextending a little bit here. And this is what Bunny has to rely on. He needs these good fights, and he needs to keep this up to somehow claw his way back in. That was a good start. That was what? That was 48 Lings for 8 Marines. So, good start. But we need to keep that up. That's easier said than done. As As we collapse on this position, Banelings, they roll on in, they connect with the Widowmines, with the Marines. As we force back the army. Again, we do see DRG just building himself up once again. Hive is on the way, eventually for 3-3. Bunny keeping the pressure up, and he has to trade as efficiently as possible and not allow DRG to just, be comfortable. Problem is, he is pretty comfortable. DRG is maxed out. He is maxed out at this point. He's up 40 supply, almost 50. Ooh, big mine shots. Very nice mine shots here. The Ling Bane gets evaporated. The Marines, they sim on forward. Another good fight for Bunny. And again, this, what's that, like 2 good fights so far? We need like maybe another 2. we need to keep it up. The pressure is on. What was that? That was 28 Lings for 6 Marines. Plus the Banelings that went down as well. We do see DRG getting ready for a big counterattack. Planetary soon to be up and running. Speaking of, we are going to be committing. We're going for the Planetary. Mine shot's going to be baited out. DRG forcing back the army, and we do get on top of the Planetary, and it looks like it will survive. Another good fight. That was a lot of Ling Bane, and we got nothing. We did repair damage. The Marines! No! But we catch the army. Banelings will connect. Marines go down. We did force a kill. That was a kill in the hatchery. And you can see that at one point here, DRG, he was up 50 supply. Now, only up 20 supply. Bunny has been trading very well. He did avoid those Baneling connections, did lift up with those Marines just in time, did preserve his army. And Bunny's fighting back. Bunny can take this fight, actually. He has the concave. Not enough Banelings. Bunny, oh my god, the comeback is real. Big Ling counterattack. We barely had an economy anyway. The SCVs, they don't matter. They never did. It's all about the Marines. It's all about the man with gun. 7 SCVs go down. And Bunny, we keep pushing. Bunny does turn back, but I don't think we can. Like, the longer this goes on, the better it is for DRG. DRG, he's remaxing as time goes on. Bunny, we gotta keep going. He wants these Lings. He wants to catch these Lings. He will. Shaves up a lot of Lings. Efficient fight. Efficient trade nonetheless. More Lings go down. Bunny consolidating his army, pushing in. Ling Bane rolling forward, but the spread is too good. Oh, the Banelings! Good connections on the right-hand side. Finally, some good connections from DRG, but it's not enough. That's a kill, not a cancel on the hatchery. Vipers come in for some yoinks. The Lurkers, they arrive just in time. These Lurkers are the saving grace for DRG. We're barely holding on. Bunny being forced back. These Lurkers, they buy so much time, and DRG is remaxing. He's remaxing once again. It's been impressive. Bunny now has a supply lead, an army supply lead. Something he hasn't had till now. Again, just because of these really efficient trades. And DRG, he's not out of this yet. The Lurkers, though. How many Lurkers? 5. 5 Lurkers are out. Pushing into Lurkers is a very difficult thing to do. Suddenly, the dynamic is changing. The dynamic is changing between these two players. It's like pushing into Disruptors. Like, it's... How do we? Without Libs. Without Libs or Ghost. Speaking of, another run by. We catch reinforcements. And we're collapsing. We collapse on the army. Big Bailey connections. The spines, they shoot off. And DRG takes a big fight here. GG gets called. DRG does survive and will take a 3-1 lead in this series. GG. GG, well played. The Lunkers. Everything changed when the Lurkers arrived. And again, they're just so strong defensively there. It's so difficult to push into, so difficult to be all in against Lurkers. Up until that point, again, Bunny was trading very well. It's surprising well. I was getting concerned. I was worried, like, yo, do we win this? Does this go Bunny's way? Ay. Casito, almost. Thankfully, DRG was taking up and did manage to get away with it. Did manage to hold on, despite how wild and aggressive Bunny was. And with that, we're on match point. We are on match point. DRG needs one more, uno más, to advance on to win the show match, to shut down his opponent. Bunny has to win here and now to claw his way back in to force an ace match. The pressure is on. And again, just really impressive fights from Bunny, especially in the second half of that last game. But remember, it was good fights. Imagine if Bunny had a good start. Winding it back, a big reason as to why DRG was in control, a big reason why Bunny was struggling in that last game on Goldenora, is because of the opener. Because the 2-Axe Reaper, we committed hard, it wasn't worth it, we lost our Reapers, we didn't delay the third, we didn't kill any workers. Likewise behind it, the follow-up was lacking as well, and DRG was so comfortable in the early game and got into a really good position, into a really nice lead. A lead that almost slipped away, but a lead that DRG had nonetheless for most of that game. And now we're getting into potentially the final game of the series, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the red Zerg player. Currently teamless. Again, he deserves to be on the team, deserving to be supported here. One of the best Zergs in South Korea. It is DRG. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Mystery Gaming. He had his moments. He has had his moments here in this series, but he has to fight back here and now, because it's going to be a long road to the ace match. Can we do it? Can we pull it off? He needs your support. It is Bunny. We need the comeback here and now. I'm sure that last game was a little bit frustrating. I do understand, but on the other side, I hope it's a little bit maybe motivating. Like Bunny, again, imagine if he wasn't all in. That last game, imagine if he had a good economy, if he had a third and fourth base saturated. Like with how well he was fighting, I can definitely see him breaking DRG in that last game. He almost did, even without an economy to sustain himself. Again, he just needs a solid early game, a solid economy behind him. It's what he was able to accomplish as well on Alcyone, if you remember. We'll see if we can get there. For now, Rax Expand. Standard opener. We're not playing around with 2-Axe Reaper. Not after that last game. We're done with it, Bob. We're done with it. And again, likewise, the opener for DRG worked very nicely. Remember, he went gasless. He went for a gasless opener, skipped gases, skipped link speed. Despite that, still killed Reapers and got away with a very greedy opener in that last game, which is why he had a boosted economy leading into the mid game on Goldenora. But this time, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool out of DRG into a third base. Reaper's going to be dancing with the Lings. And essentially, we have standard openers from both players. We have our follow-up, Bunny going for a third CC before Starport. Very economic. Now, once again, I have to reiterate, third CC after Factory, it could be before second Rax. We have seen 3CC 2-1-1 already tonight, so I don't want to rule that out. That opener is still on the table for Bunny. As there it is, there's the Starport. Okay, 3CC before Starport is going to be a very standard meta opener here. As I say that, we have yet to open up Banshees. We have not opened up Banshees at a single point in this series, but there is a tech lab. We are poised for an add-on swap. This looks like 3CC Banshee for the first time. For the first time in this best of 7. Again, assuming that we add-on swap here. Behind this, DRG is just droning, saturating his bases, getting his third up and running. Meanwhile, ooh, we do not go for the add-on swap. We're going Marine first one. Interesting. Okay. This is a variation of what we saw on, was it Alcyone? I want to say. Where we did open up here with a Liberator. First, yeah, it was on Alcyone, where he went a single Marine into Lib. Link Scout comes in. Clutch repair. We keep the Hellion alive. Links get shut down. So we are opening up Hellions plus Liberators. Now, with this specific opener, we get fast stim. Stim is much faster here for Bunny, and I'm curious how we want to make use of it. I'm curious if we're going to be committing to a push with stim timing, or if we just go for a later medevac drop instead. Like, something like a Hellbat push isn't out of the realm of possibility here with this opener. As we get a queen. Oh my god. Very nice start here. Trading a queen for 2 Hellions, a better trade for Bunny. Does maintain his Hellion counts. Is forced back. At the same time, Overlord Scout's coming in, and we do get eyes on the 1-1-1. We do get eyes on Stim. We are aware. So a good scout here out of DRG. That's the third base soon to be taken. At the same time, Hellion's going to be harassing here on the right-hand side. They do threaten that third. Queens are in position, but we do get a couple of drones nonetheless. Oh my god, not just a couple. 7. 7 workers do go down. It's the Hellions alongside this Liberator. Very nicely done. It was 1 drone kill with the Lib, 6 with the Hellions. The Hellions survive, so does the Liberator. This is a much better start here for Bunny. Much stronger start. We deny so much mining in the main as well. Oh my god. Getting another drone. Getting another 2 workers as we come back a little bit too soon. And again, we do maintain our Hellions. We do maintain our position here at the third base. That means a Ling run-by will not touch this third. We have plenty to defend. And DRG playing safe after what just happened. Going to a fast lair into Banelings. Unlike the previous couple of games, we're not prioritizing 1-1 upgrades. We're playing a lot safer this time. Much safer build. It means that the Terran will be ahead quite a bit in upgrades. 1-1 already underway here for Bunny. DRG working on a 4th hatchery. The game is going to settle for the time being, at least until medevacs hit the field. And medevacs, they're on the way. Remember, Stim is done. Combat shields going to be lined up with these medevacs as well. Bunny is going to keep the pressure on. And he has a comparable economy to that of DRG. Remember, Bunny, he may be down in SCVs, but he's up in mules. Has those mules. We have Hellions once again. They've been repaired. They're moving out. So is the medevac drop. Meanwhile, we can see DRG just securing himself. Remember, with the fast Baneling nest, with the fast lair, Baneling speed underway. It does look a little bit delayed, actually, but underway nonetheless. We'll finish up in a couple of seconds. Will help here in the defense, as we are going for that split push. So the Hellions push towards the left. They do distract the army, dragging away some attention. At the same time, double drop here towards the right. So far, just clearing up some creep. Lings, they do get here just in time. And we will only trade with creep. The drop is forced to lift. Hellions do escape, bear that in mind. And Bunny does back up. So far, pretty good. Doesn't kill anything major, true, but he does deny a lot of creep here, just keeping DRG contained, keeping him in check. As we reinforce this time with Hellbats, this time with mines and more Marines. Oh, DRG getting ready for a counterattack. We don't have much at home to defend. Oh. There's not much at home, and the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they flood into the natural base. Banelings roll in as well. The mines. Connected. We run into the Banelings. No shot. 20 SCVs go down in the blink of an eye. And we're not done. We push towards the third base, and in one fell swoop, the economy of Bunny is in shambles. As we still have 2 Banelings left over, and we're going for more SCVs. Not like this. Again, one swift move. One time you're out of position. We connect with the Marines, with the SCVs. We still have Lings here in the natural as well. And DRG suddenly has a massive economic lead. And Bunny, he was racing back home. He was in the middle of pushing, by the way. Bunny, he was in the middle of going for a split push. And DRG was exposed. He himself didn't have much at home to defend. But last, Bunny was forced to pull back. And just like that, Bunny down to 41 workers. Mules are good, but they're not that good. DRG able to drone up behind this, rebuild his army, has plenty of Ling Bane. Good bait there on that mine. Now, just like previously, Bunny is ahead in army supply, by the way. Bunny, he has a large army. He can take a fight. I'm getting some deja vu of Golden Aura, where, just like on Golden Aura, Bunny, his economy is crippled, but he can trade efficiently. So, just like that last game, there is potential for a comeback. The supplies are very similar here, and that is Bunny's army supply just kind of propping him up. So he can still win a fight. And from there, potentially deal some crippling damage to the economy. Lings get shaved off. A lot of Lings going down. Littlings are going down again. DRG being as active as possible. He knows he has to make sure that Bunny stays back at home. But here comes the army. Again, he's actually quite far ahead in army supply. This is insane. This is a massive army here. We can end the game with this. Well, we gotta send it, man. We gotta send it. Here we go. Rock's being knocked down. Bunny going for a split push. Ooh, Lurker Den is on the way. Once again, bit of deja vu from last game. Can we survive until Lurkers? Macho's going off. A lot of links go down. Can DRG make it there? So we are going to be pushing. Still more Banelings are amassing. Bunny consolidating his army. Slowly pushing onto creep. Doesn't want to get caught out. That's a lot of Banelings. Do pull back. Decent splits here. The Banelings, they crash on forward into Marauders, into some Marines. But a good engage from Bunny. Does avert disaster. Most of his Marines do survive. And we are pushing in. And again, we have to end the game with this push. Or we have to deal some critical damage. Like, breaking a base would be good enough. As Bunny is forcing his way in. DRG forced back. Up against the wall. Lurkers are on the way. Lurkers are in production. But do we have enough? And there we go. DRG trying to up. Does pull back. He thought about it. Lurkers are sieging. They are burrowing in the midst of all this. DRG going for a big counterattack. Ooh, big mine shot going off. Big mine shot links. They do hit that third base. SCV is going to be going down. But Bunny, he's breaking through. This army is breaking through. He just has to deal with these Lurkers. That's all he needs to do. Easier said than done. The Lurker is the only thing keeping Bunny at bay. Waiting for more reinforcements, focusing on the defense. Links get cleaned up, only 6 SCVs go down. Goes for the scan. The longer this goes on, the better it is for DRG. Bunny, yeah, he's running out of steam. He cannot break the Lurkers, and DRG will take the series of 4-1. Will take the show match. GG. GG, well played. DRG breaks the curse, breaks the trend. So far, in all of these best of 7s in the Club NV X Duckling Showdown, all these best of 7s, they've all gone to game 7. They've all gone all the way to the ace match. Not this time. Not this week, as Bunny unable to fight back here. Again, happened a couple of times where it happened a couple of times where DRG, he was just so on point when it came to just finding the moment when Bunny would have his attention elsewhere. These Ling Bane run-bys, these counterattacks were brutal, whether it was on Golden Aura, whether it was here in this map as well. Just catching Bunny being inattentive for one moment. And in StarCraft, one moment is all you need. You know, it's a very high-paced game, very stressful game, where one slip up and suddenly, you know, a mine drop kills a probe line, right? Or an oracle gets into a mineral line and kills workers. A liberator goes ham in the main. Or even a Baling and Ling run by manages to get in as well. Things could escalate very quickly, and that was the moment. That was the moment when DRG took control of the game and Bunny was forced all in. And as we saw, he was trading well, he was gaining ground, but DRG was able to get into those Lurkers just in time, held the line, survived. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. My condolences to Bunny. I'm a big fan of Bunny. Dude, love him. Was a big fan of CJ Entus back in the day. Always cheering for Bunny in years gone by. And do hope to see more of him. Do hope to see more of him. He's a great player. He's an amazing player here. I do think he is very comparable with DRG. Recently, though, DRG has been on fire. The IM Katowice qualifiers were crazy. DRG, he was going to town on Beyond of all players. He was going to town on Classic. DRG has been doing very well. Unfortunately, he was a little bit shy when it came to qualifying for IM. DRG didn't make it. Won't be a part of that, which is why these events, these show matches, are that much more important for players like Bunny, like DRG. So that's where we come in. That's where we come in. That's where Club NV comes in, trying to support these players, give them opportunities to really show off, to really showcase their skill, showcase themselves, and spread the love. Spread the love to as many as we can. GG. Oh. Catching up. catching up. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. If you're tuning in, maybe if you're tuning in for maybe one of the first times, this is a weekly show match series. It's a new series that we started this year here in January of 2024. The Club NV X Duckling Showdown. Every single week at this time, at this hour, we're live with a show match, with a couple of show matches, featuring Korean players, featuring even some foreign players as well. Earlier today, we had Quanta versus SCV, and we ended the night with DRG versus Bunny. So every single week, we got you covered. We do have you covered. And next week, we have something a little bit different. Oh, can I show this off? I can. So we are playing around with some formats, depending on how many players we have available. And, oh boy, next week, we have something wild. Okay. So again, every week we're gonna have these show matches, but we have a different format next week. As we just feature some of these players here. Hold on. Un momento. Bam. Okay, so this is next week's tournament. This is next week's show match. Gonna be 7 days from now here. Quite a hefty prize pool, by the way. It's gonna be 1,700 USD. All of our players getting involved will be getting a payout of some kind. And as we scroll down, that's a lot of players. We have Creator, Hero, Nightmare, Cure, Quanta, DRG, Mondo, and Shin. We have a much more extravagant show match series next week. This is going to be a Swiss format group stage. So we're throwing all these players into a group, and only the best will make it out. Here we go. So we have 8 players in total, and they're all going to be facing off in a Swiss format. You can see our starting matches already. You can see there, 6 days and 21 hours. We have Creator versus Hero, DRG versus Nightmare, Cure versus Shin, and Mondo versus Quanta. There are going to be 3 rounds in total, and 4 matches in every single round. A lot of matches are going to be had, a lot of insane games going to be played out. It's going to be beautiful. Now, I'm a little bit jealous. I'm like, this is ambitious, and I look forward to it. I'm jealous. I don't know if you noticed up here. These are some Ducklings. There are some other Ducklings I won't be casting next week. We have Asher and Yaku. They got you covered. They got you covered with some beautiful casting here on the Cranky Ducklings. Inu's also going to be casting in Korean. Shout out to Into the Inu, Into the Clan as well for casting in Korean. But yeah, Asher and Yaku are going to be handling this. The reason why I won't be a part of this is because next week, while this tournament is playing out, while these show matches are playing out, I'm going to be in the air. I'm going to be in the sky, papi. I am going to be flying over to Poland for IEM Katowice. I'm gonna be at IEM, and unfortunately that means that there are 2 days. It's gonna be a 32-hour trip. 32-hour trip. It's traveling anywhere from Australia is brutal, but it's regardless. So because I'm not gonna be available to cast, I'm not gonna be available to cover any games. I'm gonna be missing this, and I'm gonna be missing ESL Open Cup Americas. Those are the 2 events that I won't be covering. We'll be having some other Ducklings getting involved as well. So a big shout out to Yaku and Asher for stepping in. I know Kuro is going to be handling the production as well. And it's a big event. It's a big day. I'm jealous. Like I'll be trying to watch. I'll probably watch the VODs when I land. When I do land, like a couple of days later. So yeah, it's a big week. Big week next week. A lot of really good matches, a lot of really good games. Be sure to be here on the Cranky Ducklings for all of these amazing matches. Be sure to be there. You could pre-record a cast. That's not how it works. I just have to. I have to pull a Roddy and have like a light soundboard, like like the walls on the wall, Papi. Just they can press a button. They can say all my one-liners. He's getting out of control. But yeah. So I won't be available. I won't be casting. I'm gonna be for IEM Katowice. I've never been to an offline event before. I've never been to a premier StarCraft event. And I always regretted not being there for Pro League. Like I was a big Pro League fan. I never got to see Pro League. Never seen anything like that, especially because I'm here in Australia. So yeah, I am TvZ to be a part of the audience, to be watching from the stands alongside everyone else. So yeah, I'm going as a viewer, as a spectator, not as a commentator. I'd love to commentate it, but yeah, they got plenty of other talent for that. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. I'll just be there to watch. Just be there to watch. It's gonna be a little bit intimidating. Again, I've never been a part of a crowd like that, or a venue like that, so we'll see. If you happen to go, then reach out, because I would love to interact and meet up with some lovely StarCraft fans. I do know of a couple of people that will be there, so I'm most likely going to be latching onto them, but we'll see. We'll see if we can meet up and enjoy some StarCraft together. Together. Be great. Be beautiful. I'm also a little bit concerned because, as you can imagine, it's quite a climate shift from Australia to Poland. It's like winter there and it's summer here. So, it's been quite expensive, but I've been like getting, fun fact, I got a package today. Basically like winter wear, like, you know, like jackets, you know, like thermal wear, like shoes as well, like to make sure I don't freeze to death. Like I'm getting ready for the trip. I have nothing prepared for that, so I had to basically buy a whole new set of clothes just for Poland. And hopefully we're okay. Hopefully we live. Hopefully we survive, Papi. We survive. Currently it's 3, yeah, exactly. Like here it's like, you know, we have 30 degrees, 40 degrees Celsius days, because it's summer here. So we'll do my best. We'll do my best to survive. But yeah. So maybe, you know, keep an eye on the crowd. I might be there. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how things go. And yeah, so exciting times. Again, if you want some more show matches next week, we have the Swiss format show matches with so many amazing players, with players like Hero, Shin, Creator, Quanta, Mondo, Cure, Nightmare, DRG. It's gonna be beautiful. Be sure you're a part of that. Again, a big shout out to Club NV. You can see our little mascot there, our duckling in the Club NV jersey. It's a joint effort with Club NV and the Cranky Ducklings, and much love to the Korean team Club NV for making these show matches a reality. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, we are not done for the night. Nowhere near. If you were here earlier, you would know that initially we were casting Masters Coliseum 7, the playoffs, and we casted most of it, but we casted Mar versus Cure, Cell versus Solar, Dark versus Raynor. There was one series left that we didn't get to cast. One best of 5, a PvP between MaxPax and Hero. And we had to leave it by the wayside because these show matches were starting. So we had to kind of leave and put that on hold. Now it's time to dive in. I'm going to be going on a short break, going to be setting up all the overlays, setting up all the matches, and we will be back with MaxPax versus Hero in a best of 5. The final match of Masters Coliseum. Now, if you're in the chat, you may have already watched it. Maybe you were a part of, like, I think Rotterdam was casting. I think Wardy was casting. I mean, we were casting as well, but again, we just didn't cover the last series. So no spoilers. No spoilers in the chat. We will be going over that final MaxPax vs. Hero series. Right here, right before you. So again, going to be going in a short break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Maybe give me like 10 minutes at most. 10 minutes at most. Take this moment to get some water, get some snacks, go to the bathroom, freshen up, and get ready for some PvP action. Let's go. Let us go. And again, a big shout out to DRG and Bunny as well. Both players walk away with some money. DRG with the lion's share, but Bunny does make some bank as well. So much love to our players. Hope to see more of them in future show matches. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys shortly with some Masters Coliseum.